Okay. Hey, everybody. Let's move into something new, something a little different. Okay. Um, I had a student years ago, years and years ago, because today the student is grown up, very successful, and is a dad. He's got kids. I mean, it's like the kids are older. And I knew him when he was a little kid. He was at our school years ago when we were in a storage unit. We used to be in a storage unit. And so when it was really hot outside, it was really hot in that storage unit. And when it was cold outside, it was really cold. And we've been at our school for over 21 years. But what we used to do, and what we still do, is we get the people excited, let them know they could do it, let them know it's possible, and give them those really solid fundamentals right from the start. And in this situation, the last name was Colman, and I had the son, who is now David Colman, who is very proud of him. He's doing great. I look at him as a mentor. I look at his work and study his work, and I knew him as a kid. And then his mom was at the school, Kathy Colman. Well, I ran into Kathy's husband, David's dad, and found out that Kathy had passed away. So he donated some of her stuff to our school, which we use every day. The sorrow head that we use to study from. But Kathy's husband asked me, "Hey, would you like some of her magazines?" And everybody goes, "What do you want those magazines for?" I said, "Because they're gold." And that's where I've learned a lot is from these magazines. American Artist, Southwest Art, Watercolor, and you'll see just such a diverse level of people's work, and I study it. I study it like crazy. So he dropped them off on Saturday, and Saturday night I spent hours just organizing them into three areas: landscape, still lifes, and figures, which of course they're mixed up within the magazines. So I thought we would do is dedicate these videos to Kathy Coleman, and keep her memory alive, her beauty alive. She's a fantastic artist, and we'll dedicate, so when we see these magazines, it will be the Kathy section of videos. And let's have some fun. So we have these, and there's probably close to 100 of them on the shelf. This one, this is Southwest Art. She had written some stuff. Neil Boyle, I knew him. We'll get into him. And she marked it on there. And I already went through it, and I really like this one. So let's start with that. Now, sketchbooks. Um, my students were looking through one of my old sketchbooks. What's going on with the sketchbooks is I don't worship my drawings. I don't go, oh, that's a drawing, and I go. Every now and then I do a drawing I like. And I'm studying all the time, but when I'm done with a sketchbook, I just throw it on the floor in the corner of the room. I just put a whole bunch of them in a bin up in the attic. I'll never look at them. I've got a bunch at the school, which hopefully the students look through because there's some decent stuff in there. But this one I looked at and I was like, wow, dude, like this was years ago. If you look at this one, like I like this drawing. If somebody else did this drawing, I would be really jealous. So I want to do more of these. This drawing is the San Jose airport. I retired from San Jose. We're like 2025 right now. I don't know, 2021, 2019. It's like forever a memory ago. When I move on, I move on. When I leave a studio, I've already got another studio planned or another career or another something, another gig. So I don't sit there and relive everything every day unless I'm mad. Um, but wow, that's a long time ago, you guys. So, and what the students, when they looked through one of my other sketchbooks, what they liked was when I did these little boxes. So I did this last night. So I'm going to do some more. So we'll dedicate this to the students. So what do we have? We've got this, which is kind of cool. And we have this. So that works. Let's just paint. Okay. So we got our paint. And this is cool. So we can see everything. All right, so Corey's going to say you talk too much. So, but we won't anymore. These are a headset, and this is music. So let's put on some music. And I think that's probably the most important part of all of this videos is that we get your 90s music. That's kind of cool. So we're going to start out with Fish. And is that we understand that we have to talk because how else do anything? But most of my time is spent in complete silence, and that's what we're going to do. All right, so I really like this. And the reason what I like about these snow mountains is that there we go. You're really working with negative space. So this is the positive space. If you see that, there we go. See, it's positive. This is the negative. So the space in between is your negative space. So they're equal. They get the same screen credit. Okay. So I'm going to use, well, I can't use the color of the paper for the white, so I'm going to have to work with it. But if I'm working on white canvas or something, I'll use the white canvas as I'll just leave it as the canvas and paint around it. I do that with clouds. I do that with snow-covered mountains and stuff. So I'm going to put a foreground. A little cold. Everybody's getting cold. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'm not going to do all of it, just I'm going to do a rhythm, so I have this S shape. Doing kind of a warm, well, it's going to be cool on this side, so I'll go warm on the opposite side. Just think of opposites. Even though they're using cool on that side, I'm going to make it a little bit warmer. I have a big palette of paint here, just cheap stuff. This is how Neil Boyle would paint. Neil Boyle did these incredible landscapes, not landscapes, Western scenes. And it was amazing. You see, I get right into the zone. It's so funny. We move on to a meatloaf. So I'm still kind of doing a little warm because it's going to be cool in the sky, cool on the snow. Just think opposites, that's all. It's funny. I talk with my friend. I have a friend who's because I work in forensics, I hang out with such smart people. And so I tell my friend, he's a forensic psychiatrist, and I said, I'm so paranoid about talking too much, And he always tells me, choose your battles. Not everybody deserves to be spoken to. I think that's true. So if I'm talking to you, I think you're probably somebody really special. If not, I'm usually in my sketchbook, got my head somewhere else. I'm usually pretty quiet, but it was really kind of cute. And I like that. He told me that, he said, Sheldon, you're smart and, you know, so it's kind of cool. So if we're talking, you're somebody special. If not, I don't know, enjoy your life. Um, which brings me to a subject. So you're in my studio, so it's whatever I'm thinking about, you know. And when you're in your studio, so I'm going to start putting in the whites. When you're in your studio as an artist, you're always thinking. Now, I wanted to get back to him. So, he said, you're smart. And as an artist, you don't always hear that and this is going to lead to imposter syndrome, which I'm hearing about a lot. Um, as artists, people don't get us. And I think if there's anything I can do at my school is to give the students permission for being smart, but not necessarily smart in the way the school sees it. So, imposter syndrome, you don't deserve it or something. Um, these eye floaters, I was watching TV and there's an eye floater and I got rid of it. I can get rid of it now in about 5 or maybe 10, 15 seconds. But I researched it and I figured it out and now I control it. Um, my knee, people when they get older, their knees hurt. I'm figuring it out. I had my friend who's a surgeon tell me what it is, and I researched it and I fixed it. I did my own physical therapy because I know anatomy. So I did my own physical therapy. But then I was helping my daughter or something. I hurt my knee again. So now I'm in the process of doing the physical therapy again, the second time, and it's working. But I never studied that in school. I never studied up to be an ophthalmologist. But I studied anatomy, and I can think through things. I can think beginning, middle, and end. And I can put the parts in there that are needed. Welcome to homicide. So, what is imposter syndrome? Study, learn, and do it. Why do you have to feel like you don't deserve something if you've studied it? I find it interesting. So, I don't know. You hear sirens outside. See how much time I'm putting into just getting this shape? Okay. And then it's got a blue background. So I don't understand this imposter syndrome. There's a lot I don't understand because I work with 14-year-olds, but and 15-year-olds. But why do you feel like you can't have something when you studied it? Oh, I can get rid of that. So maybe I should follow the same advice with the talking. Okay. So I got that. I'm going to put green in the foreground. So I got to find something green. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. That's blue. But I want to change it. I want to do something different. It's all snow. What's this doing? That's kind of cool. I need to make it out of my head, but it's yellow. That could work. Oh, it's green. I'm gonna paint that one next. Okay, this is kind of cool. We'll go back to the other. See that one? That's kind of a muted, ugly green, so we can do that. So I guess your imposter syndrome is similar to me having the talking where you get all paranoid about it. So maybe we'll do this. I'll be careful who I talk to because if they don't deserve it, why talk to them? And you can deserve your successes. How's that? So if you studied it and you put in the time, why not enjoy it? You don't have to be telling everybody about it. Probably my mistake is when I learn something, I want to tell about it. Look what I did. Look at this. Look at this. This is so new. This is so exciting. Not everybody wants to hear it, you know? So maybe not everybody wants to hear about your successes, and that's where the imposter syndrome comes. If you were talking like that at my school, we'd get down to business because I need you to be successful. So I need you to move from step to step. I can't have you move at a step and then stop because you don't think you deserve that step, because that's just one step to the next. I'm really, if it's in my mind, I'm thinking about it and I'll research it and figure it out. But why do we go into art? We go into art because it never completes. It never finishes. We do it because it's a passion, and you get those, a lot of time goes into getting just a little success, but that little success feels so good. And I think that's why we do it. Okay, is this a foreground? I'm gonna put some orange. Okay, so that's nice and warm in the foreground. Yeah, it works. You can see the background's already starting to take on that mountain effect. Now, when you get back to the mountains, snow has hard edges, okay? It's real hard. So I got this paint. It's really fun. It's this gel paint. It's real cheap. I mean, it's like not expensive at all, but it's fun to paint with. And I did a painting. It delivers. They'll get it tomorrow. And this is an heirloom painting. This is a painting that'll go from generation to generation. It's meant to be for the family to enjoy, and then the next family, and to celebrate the life of a person. And that's really what I do. I do portraits that become heirlooms, and meant to last a long time. But I use the best paper, best paint. But then I use some of this just to hit those little marks. It'll last, but it's so funny because you can get it's real cheap. So that's what I'm using now. It's really fun. Okay. So now I'll make up some clouds. I'll go pretty white on the clouds. So wherever there's a dark, put a light. That's it. Rembrandt. It's called Rembrandt lighting. Doesn't make sense, but it works. So if you have a dark, put a light next to it. You lose an edge here. Okay, because that's more contrast back there. I'm gonna go like a dark gray, maybe. I don't know, it's kind of fun. Okay, so about done with this. So the imposter syndrome thing, there is a generational thing. So we call it scripting. So you have like a life script, and that you can get into a psychology thing, go talk to a therapist. But sometimes if it's where let's say you're like, you'll see, I've taught students who really didn't have much going for them, but they come from really successful, rich families, and they become successful rich, but they don't really have much going for them, but that script is there for them. Then you have other people who are just brilliant. They're just unbelievably brilliant. But the family script was one of not, more, good, but maybe not, maybe not the genius, that I'm not saying genius. One person might be working cleaning houses and the other one might be a scientist that invented something that's really rich. Well, the person who cleans houses, let's say, well, there's nothing wrong with that. They have a kid who's a genius, but the kid has a script, so it doesn't usually get beyond that. Where the other one might be somebody is a genius, but they have a kid who's not. But because the kid has like almost permission to be, they become. What I do is the the kid of the genius, I just let them do their thing and promote them and give them all the information, everything they need and everything. But the child of the, let's say, person who's not the president of a company, maybe just your blue collar type worker, which is where I come from, I'll give them permission to be great. And this gets fun. I actually move that DNA and literally give them the permission to become famous. And they do. And it's so cool. And that, I think, is, if you have a life purpose, that's my life purpose. I love it. It's so fun. So it's just cool. So how do you see your value? I see my value in ability to have a sketchbook and art supplies or books. So that's how I see my value, my wealth. I don't see it. I don't care about other stuff. I mean, I like watches, but, um, content and happy, where somebody else might have to get that next. So I don't know. I think that's where I'm looking at this imposter syndrome stuff. So in the end, go see a therapist. All right. Okay. This is done. So this is the first video of today. So pretty much covered everything. So the next one's I'm going to be pretty quiet and nothing to talk about. Okay. Let's do some more videos. See you on the next one.